everyone, it's Tara with Secret Biz Studio, and I'm here with this short video tutorial showing you how to create the base of this adorable envelope mini album that I created using the fabulous Layle By Mail in the envelope stamp set and coordinating die. The original envelope mini I made also featured the Layle By Mail tabs and labels stamp set and die, along with the large asterisk stamp from the Reggie alphabet, and it was embellished with papers from the Simple Stories for the Record collection. But this envelope mini album will work with any paper collection, so I'm going to show you how to assemble the base, attach the envelopes, and stamp the spine and cover, and then you can decorate and embellish this mini album however you choose. To stamp all of the envelopes, we will be using this in the envelope stamp set, and then we will die cut them all out with the coordinating die. You will need a total of 7 stamped envelopes in your choice of colors. It's important to know that when you stamp these, you need to leave room around the sides and bottom for die cutting, as we will need those die cut edges for 4 of the envelopes. Now I have all of my envelopes stamped, and I'm going to secure my die with some washi tape, and I will get all of these envelopes die cut. Once you have all of your envelopes cut out, pick 4 to fold and score. These will be adhered to the mini album first. Use a bone folder on all of the score lines for a crisp edge. Next, trim both sets of corners where the edges fold together. Cut at an angle and trim the corners so that when folded up, they do not touch. Do this for the 4 envelopes. For the remaining 3 envelopes, we will cut off all of the edges at the score lines. You can fold on the score lines if it makes it easier to see where to cut. Do this for the remaining 3 envelopes. Decide which envelope you want for the very front of your album. We will be using 2 small magnets to attach the album together, and the first is going to be placed on the back of this album cover. Flip the envelope over and adhere the magnet near the top center, making sure to leave a bit of room around it. Secure it in place with a small strip of score tape. Now we will cover the magnet with a piece of scrap paper just so things slide easily in and out without getting caught on the magnet. I'm using a scrap from one of the die cuts I made earlier since it has the same shape. I just trim it down to size and apply adhesive to the back side. Remove all adhesive coverings and adhere over the magnet. Now we need to apply adhesive to the folded sides and bottoms of the envelopes. Turn the envelopes over, fold the edges in, and apply 1/4 inch score tape right near the score line. You only need 1/4 inch adhesive as we will be trimming the rest of the edges off. Go ahead and apply adhesive to all sides and bottoms in this manner. Once that is completed, trim away the excess paper off the sides only. We will trim the bottoms after they are adhered. Next, we are going to create the base of our album using the piece of cardstock that was cut to 4 5/16 of an inch by 12 inches. This width matches the width of the envelopes. I placed these score guides here so you could see them while I scored the cardstock, but my camera kept going in and out of focus. Unfortunately, it continues while I score, so I apologize. You can make note of these scores, and I also go over them while scoring. Place the strip of cardstock onto the scoreboard with the long edge at the top. Score at 3/8, 5/8, 1 inch, 1 3/8, 1 5/8, 2 inches, 2 3/8, and 2 5/8. Then score at 6 7/8 and 7 5/8. Then fold all the score lines and use a bone folder for a crisp edge. For the front or small score lines, it's helpful to fold them in both directions for easy movement. With the front or small scored side, we will be creating 2 mountains or flaps to adhere envelopes to. At the very start is a 3/8 inch flap. This is for the front envelope, so just leave it for now. Go to the next 2 3/8 inch sections. These will be folded and adhered together to form a mountain. Then there is a 1/4 inch space and then 2 more 3/8 inch sections that will also be folded and adhered together to make the second mountain. Once folded and adhered together, they should look like this. Apply adhesive to one side of one 3/8 inch section. This will be right past the 1/4 inch score line. Apply a second strip of adhesive to one of the second 3/8 inch sections, again right past the 1/4 inch score line. Remove the first adhesive covering and press the 2 3/8 inch sections together to make the mountain. Remove the second adhesive covering and again press the sections together to make the second mountain. Now you should have one single 3/8 inch section at the front and 2 3/8 inch mountains. If you would like, trim a small portion off each corner of the mountains and the front section. We will be trimming more once the envelopes are adhered. I just think this makes it a bit easier to initially adhere them. Find your front envelope with the magnet. We will be adhering this to the front of the single 3/8 inch section. For this first envelope, flip the cardstock over so the mountains are facing down. Remove the bottom adhesive backing and line the envelope up with the front 3/8 inch section. Adhere it on or just a smidge above the score line. Once adhered, trim away the corner and bottom excess. Now, with the mountains up, remove the adhesive backing from your second envelope and line it up with the front of the first mountain and adhere it right at or just slightly above the score line. Again, trim off any corner and bottom excess paper. Choose your third envelope, remove the adhesive backing and line it up with the front of the second mountain and adhere at or just slightly above the score line. Again, trim the excess at the corners and bottom. We have 3 envelopes adhered now. For the fourth envelope, trim off the paper excess below the adhesive and then remove all of the adhesive from the bottom and the sides. This envelope will be adhered right above the last 1/4 inch score line. The easiest way to do this is to fold the album over at the last 1/4 inch score line and lay it flat as shown. Line up the bottom of the envelope and adhere that first, and then adhere one side and then the other. Now that we have all 4 envelopes in place, we need to adhere the back sides. Before doing that, apply another 1/4 inch strip of score tape to the bottom back side of the 3 3/8 inch sections. Then, trim away the excess paper above the adhesive. Take the first trimmed envelope of your choice, remove the adhesive backing from the bottom and sides of the first placed envelope, and again line the trimmed envelope up on the bottom first and then adhere the sides. Do the same thing with the next 2 trimmed envelopes, adhering them to the backs of the envelopes you already have in place. Next, we need to cover this spine area of the album. Use the small strip of cardstock that is cut to just under 3/4 inches wide by 4 5/16 of an inch long. Place it on the spine first to make sure it fits correctly. We are going to stamp some matching lines just on the sides of this strip. Place it in the center of your stamping tool and place a Post-it note over the middle. Line up your envelope stamp so the lines are even with the edges of the strip, and then using the same color, ink up just a small portion of the sides and stamp until you get the desired image. Apply adhesive to the back side of the strip and adhere to the spine of the album, making sure the lines are even. Next, we're going to stamp the front section so when the album is closed, it looks like a complete envelope. Before determining where to stamp, I think it's important to make sure the album is somewhat filled. If you have your decorative inserts done at this point, go ahead and place them in the envelopes. Otherwise, you can just stuff some extra cardstock in them as I show. This just gives the album some bulk to work with. Fold the front cover over and make sure the top and bottom spines are nice and straight. Then, hold the cover in place and feel for and find the magnet that is already in place. Once you find it, use a pencil to mark its location. This gives us a guide for the location of our stamping of the front of the envelope. We will stamp this using our stamp tool. Mine has a rubber insert in it that raises the stamp platform so that it's almost even with the edge of the tool. If you don't have this, I would suggest adding paper to your platform to add height so you don't get a crease in the body of your mini album. Place the cardstock onto the stamping tool and secure it with washi tape so it doesn't move. Place the envelope stamp upside down, making sure there is a bit of room between the pencil mark you made and the curved stamp line of the envelope. Once you have the stamp in place where you like it, use the same color ink and ink up only the top portion of the stamp. Use a chamois to remove any excess ink so you are just stamping what will be the top flap of the envelope. Also, wipe off excess ink on the stamp tool as well so it doesn't get on your album. I did not do this the first time and thankfully it didn't get on my album, but just clean the platform as well to be safe. Stamp as many times as needed to get a good impression. Once your image is complete, trim around it, leaving a 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch border. You can erase the pencil mark now, but be careful not to smear your ink. To place the second magnet, put it on top of the magnet on the front envelope so you know they will attach correctly. Cut a small piece of score tape and place it right on top of the second magnet. Remove the adhesive backing and then fold your cover over, making sure the spines are straight, and press on the magnet. Gently pull the cover open and the second magnet should now be attached to the inside cover. We'll be covering this inside flap with patterned paper in a later step, so this magnet will be covered. Secure it in place with a small bit of score tape, making sure not to get too close to the edges as you don't want there to be adhesive present under the patterned paper you place there. My magnet has a bit of sticky adhesive on it, so I cover that with washi tape before closing my cover. And there it is. You have created your very own Layle by Mail envelope mini album. Now you can follow the instructions to cover the inside flap and then decorate and embellish however you want. Have fun!